Welcome back, everybody. It's Pro. Session 3 is about to begin. Before we do that, though, keep in mind you still have time to register for the washer and dryer set as well as the sectionals. So get to our website, zhiphopcleveland.com, and of course, wzakcleveland.com. To our final session, the role of your agent, CRA, and NID. Now, the Cleveland Realtist Association is a local chapter of NAREB founded in 1947. On the principle that all citizens have the right to equal housing opportunities, regardless of race, creed, and color. And their mission is to serve the unserved and underserved and develop creative and effective methods of execution. So joining us from CRA, let's welcome President Monique Winston and first VP, Deborah Bonner. Thank you, ladies.
Good morning.
Hi. Hello, everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Monique Winston, and I am the president of the Cleveland Realtist Association. So I hope you all have enjoyed the program so far. I hope you have learned a lot. Our whole goal as an organization is to promote democracy in housing and to be your advocate and assistance during your home buying process. So as Ro mentioned, the Cleveland Realtist Association, we're the local chapter of an organization called the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and that's also known as NAREB. NAREB, as a national organization, has been fighting for democracy in housing since 1947. So we've been in the game a long time. And believe it or not, our local chapter here in Cleveland was actually started very early in the process. Cleveland was one of the first cities to get involved, and our chapter was started in 1948. So again, our purpose is to fight for democracy in housing and ensure that everyone, regardless of your race, creed, color, or religion, has the right to participate in the American dream. Now, as an organization, we call ourselves Realtist. And a lot of times people think that's a typo or a misspelling, but it's not. We carry the designation of Realtist, and we have a specific goal to serve those communities that are often unserved or underserved. So it is no typo when you see Realtist. And we're not just real estate agents and brokers, but we're also attorneys, we're title companies, appraisal companies, mortgage brokers. We're a conglomerate of minority real estate professionals, all serving the same goal. And of course, we welcome members of any race, as long as you're dedicated to helping us serve our mission of promoting democracy and housing. We are definitely open and willing to have you join our movement. So when you're going through your home buying process, I want you to do something. I want you to ask your real estate agent if they are a realtist. If they're not, I want you to tell them that they should be, okay? So again, I am so glad to have you all here today. I am so glad that you are taking advantage of this information. And one of the things we want you to realize is that home ownership is so important. And specifically, Black home ownership is so very important to building that generational wealth. So Debbie, can you tell our listening audience why this is so important?
Yes, Monique, I'd be glad to. Now, Black home ownership matters because owning a home is the first step in creating wealth. Now, a home can provide you with the equity that can be used to start a business. It can be used to support your children's education. You can use it to purchase an investment property. And even a paid off home can help you retire comfortably. So you won't have to worry about a house note in your retirement. Now, every year, NAREB publishes a report called the State of Housing in Black America, and it's also known as the Sheba Report. Now, this report provides statistics, and it also discusses issues that Black Americans face during our quest for home ownership. For instance, in January of this year, the Black home ownership rate was 44%. That means 44% of Black households own their own home. In comparison, the rate for non-Hispanic whites was 73.7%. So that means it's almost a 30% gap. as far as home ownership. Our organization is committed to sharing this type of information with the public and also providing solutions to overcome barriers that Black Americans face, such as discriminatory lending, inequitable public policies and legislation. Our members, who are known as Realtists, are dedicated to supporting our mission of democracy in housing. Now, if you would like to learn more about us, or if you'd like to join us, please visit our website at www.clevelandrealtist.org.
Thank you, Debbie. And again, you can tell based on those numbers that it is vitally important that we work on this together, collaboratively, as a team. Here locally, we have a mission, and we have a mission across the nation called 2MN5. And we would love to have 2 million new Black homeowners in the next 5 years across the nation. And we want to make sure, you guys, that Cleveland is on the map. We want to make sure that we are in this game. So we just wanted to provide you with that information to let you know who we are. And an important part in the process is making sure you select the right real estate agent and professional to assist you. Now, I already told you when you get that professional, you're going to ask them if they're a member of the Cleveland Realtists. And if not, you're going to provide them with some information. But now what we're going to do is we're going to have one of our local realtors give you some information about what you should be looking for when you are selecting this real estate professional. So thank you all, and I hope this has been beneficial so far, and good luck in your home ownership journey. Hey, Doxy.
Hey, Monique. Hey, Debbie. Okay, you guys, you ready for me to tell them what the deal is? What the role of their real estate agent should be?
Yes, and tell them why they need to make sure they're working.
Okay, here it is. Now, I'm a fast talker. Yes, my name is Doxy Jelks. You can see behind me. I'm a fast talker, so I am putting 30 minutes into a 10-minute span here. So I have a lot of notes. If you don't get it all, just hit me up on Facebook, Doxy Jelks, and I will get you a copy of my notes, okay? So the first thing, Doxy Jelks, a member of the Realtors for over 30 years and a licensed real estate broker and agent for 40 years. So I definitely can tell you being your agent. Besides, number one, are they a realtist? Here are some other things that they need to know. And you need to know so you can pick out the best person for you. There's no, everyone has their own unique things. Like you might like to work at, you might work in the daytime, you might like to see houses at night. And if your realtist is not available to show you at night, then it's not a good fit. So there's a different agent for everyone's personality, I might say. I tease everyone. I say, I'm really not I'm not a real estate agent. I'm a matchmaker. I show you houses until you fall in love, and then I become a wedding planner. And as everyone knows, if you've ever planned a wedding, it is very stressful. You have contracts, deposits, dates. It's just very stressful. So the role of your real estate agent is to eliminate that stress from you if all possible, and they put it on themselves because they're used to dealing with this. So there are 7 main roles that a real estate agent performs, and I'll read them off and then I'll go through each one individually. The first one is educate you about the market. Number 2, analyze your needs and wants. 3, show you homes that fit your criteria. 4, coordinate work of other needed professionals. 5, negotiate on your behalf. 6, review paperwork and deadlines. And 7, to solve any problems that arise. So let's take a look at those one by one. Educate you about the market. Currently, it is a seller's market. So, Doxy, what does a seller's market mean? It means there are more buyers looking for houses than there are houses on the market. A simple supply and demand. So you might have 5 buyers looking at that same house and bidding on that house. One house. It's a buyer's market. Years ago, it was it's a seller's market rather. Years ago, it was a buyer's market. You'll have all these houses. People were losing their houses, and you can pick them up real cheap. That way anymore. A lot of people hear their family members say, well, a few years ago, I bought my house. It was dirt cheap. Make them a lowball offer. I'm sure they'll accept. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You cannot do that in today's market. Okay. You will definitely lose out if you try to do that. Many people, many people need the closing costs assistance. So if you want the seller to pay closing costs, it's good to give them what they want and turn around and they pay $3,500 in your closing costs, make it with $3,500. So just educate yourself about the market. It is a seller's market, unfortunately, buyers. That's what we're faced with. But with the right agent, we can still get you in that house. Number 2, analyze your needs and wants. If you need 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, why are you looking at 2-bedroom homes? Okay, make a list of your must-haves, and then you can make a list of your wants. If the house has all of your needs, go for it. Otherwise, if you keep finding a perfect house, you're never going to find it. There is no perfect house. Just like in Tyler Perry's movie, 80-20 rule, there's no perfect man or woman. There's no perfect house. So you just have to decide what 20 you're going to be willing to live without. Okay. Number 3, show you homes that fit your criteria. If you were looking for a home, say you were approved for $100,000, and you call me and say, Doxy, can I see this house on 123 Main Street? It's 120. I'm going to say, why? And you're going to say, well, I just want to see it. I'm just curious. I warn you not to do that, because a $120,000 house is going to look nicer than a $100,000 house. And once you see that $120,000 house that you are not pre-approved for, every house you see after that, you are going to compare it to the one you saw for $120,000. So it really hurts you to do that. Look at houses that are in your price bracket. Okay. Number 4, coordinate the work of others. Besides a real estate agent, you're going to need an inspector once you get a contract on the property. We don't want you to have to start Googling home inspectors just to get any and everybody. The real estate agents, we work with them all the time. We can give you a list of inspectors. We can give you a list of electricians, plumbers, anything you might need to help with that transaction. Number 5, and this is where the real estate agent gets paid their money. Mind you, the buyers normally do not pay the seller's agent's commission, but this is where they really earn it negotiating on your behalf. So you want someone with experience, okay? For instance, I just had a buyer make an offer on a house, and I think he offered 110, and he wanted the seller to pay 3% in closing costs, which would have been about $33.90 or something like that. The seller was adamant, no, I'm only paying $3,000 in closing costs. And so the buyer said, so they're going to lose, my walk away from me by $390. So they want to do that. But I saw that they had a Federal Pacific box in the house. I knew that once that inspection report was made, that the inspector would cite that Federal Pacific box. And mind you, that box is going to cost about $2,000 to replace. So I said, don't worry, go ahead, accept the $3,000, and we'll make you whole later. So the buyer ended up getting the new electrical box for $2,000 and some other repairs from the inspection list. So it's very important to have a good negotiator. Okay. And also about the negotiation, people say, well, I don't want to pay $1,000 more. Well, remember, $1,000 more in your if you pay them $1,000 more to the seller, that only increases your payment about $6. You're going to spend that much at Wendy's every month. So don't worry about that. Okay. Number 6, a good agent reviews the paperwork and deadlines for you. My daughter was teasing me the other day because she just bought her second home. It was an investment property, and it was a lot for her, but for me, it's this kind of stuff. And she said, Mom, I know why you're such a good agent. And I'm like, why? She says, because you're very detail oriented. You dot all your I's, cross all your T's, because, you know, she was just getting, you know, frazzled. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I got it. We got to do this. So, you know, it's very important to find an agent that is detail oriented. Because, for example, if your contract says you're supposed to have your home inspection within 7 days, and you want to have it on the 8th day because you have something to do during days you can't make it, you want to do it on 8th day, and that is not, you can't do that, because one day does make a difference. Because what will happen, possibly, the seller can send you an email on that 8th day and say, I'm sorry, you're in breach of contract. We're no longer going to sell the house to you. You said, what? Over one day? Well, we might not know that in the background, they have another buyer that put in a backup offer for more than what you agreed to pay for the house. And now the seller is like, so they're just laying back at the cut, just waiting for you to miss out on any dates. So it's very important to follow those dates. Okay. Number 7. Solve any problems that may arise. And there always are going to be bumps in the road. And a good agent will, you might not even know about them, number one, but if you know about them, they can help you get over it because they've seen this before, they've been there. Just like a wedding, a lot of stuff you don't know that goes on behind the scenes, and you go to the bride when you go through the line and say, oh, that was such a lovely wedding, blah, 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 blah. You don't know that the photographer was a no-show and their wedding planner had to get a backup photographer at the last minute for them. You don't know that one of the bridesmaids was sick and they had to find somebody else to step in, and they had to get the dress, altered at the last minute to fit the new bridesmaid. You don't see that. Similarly, when people come to your housewarming after you get a house and they say, oh, you have such a lovely home, they don't know you almost didn't get the house because your hours were cut because of COVID-19, and also because you took the 10% discount and applied for the charge card that TJ Maxx said will give you 10% off, and that made your debt ratios off. They don't know about that. They don't know that the good agent had to find a lower insurance rate for you so you can be able to qualify the house. They don't know about that. They love the house. So there will always be hiccups in the transaction. Expect them, but trust that you have picked an agent with enough experience that will help get you through across the finish line. Okay. So remember, I know I've said a lot, but if you would just go to my Facebook, Doxy Jokes, and you can send me a message. Hey, send me the note you have for the day, and I will send them to you. Okay, now I have the pleasure to introduce, and she is the first vice president of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers and the branch manager for NID in Detroit and Cleveland. Lydia, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NID Housing Agency. We have a treat for you this afternoon. But before we begin the Know Before You Go, I would like to welcome all of our NID offices that are around the city of Cleveland. So again, my name is Lydia Pope. I'm the branch manager at the NID, and I'm located in the downtown Cleveland area, separating the east from the west side. And I think we have some other counselors also that are from the NID offices. Andrea. Okay, I think she has her mute button off. Okay, well, that's Andrea Wilson. She's from the NID, and she actually represents the Maple Heights location.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I service the east and west side of town.
Wanda Thomas, NID Stoudemire, southeast side.
Okay, I think we have two other housing I think Jennifer Valentine, is she on? Okay, we also have another office with Jennifer Valentine. She represents the Cleveland Heights office. And then Henry Stoudemire Jr., who represents the southeast side of Cleveland. We want to welcome you again to our Know Before You Go. Okay, let's. So while we're waiting for the PowerPoint slides, just want to give you a little history about NID Agency. NID Agency, we are actually an affiliate of the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, formulated in 1947. We're a 501c3, which means we're a nonprofit agency, and we offer free services to all individuals in need. And our goal is to make sure we rebuild the communities that we serve. And we have over 50 sites around the country. If you want to know a little bit about our agency, please look on our website at www.nidhousing.com. We asked the question, what is housing counselors? Who are we? Well, to begin, NID, again, we are a HUD approved agency, so we are certified from the Housing of Urban Development. And what that means is that you have a legitimate housing agency, and you can go on the HUD.gov website to find all of the counseling agencies that we're servicing today. And we also provide services to housing needs, which you'll find a little bit about that later today. We provide personal and confidential assistance, and we're knowledgeable in the areas that we do. So a lot of times we find that clients go into home buying classes, or if they don't go to home buying classes, they go to a loan officer to find out that their loan is not approved. Well, if your loan is not approved, what do you do? The first thing that we always advise is you want to seek a housing counselor. And why? Well, a housing counselor is used in many different categories. Number one, because some lenders require to receive down payment assistance or closing costs. So if you're working with a loan officer and you need down payment, you need closing costs, you definitely have to seek a housing counselor, because we go over all the documents with you. We go over your budget, we review your credit. And again, remember, this is at no cost. We also have interest rate reduction programs, education, understanding, and working with a housing counselor. You want a peace of mind. You want to be in a private setting where we can talk through exactly what needs you have before you go to the loan officer, before you go and buy a home. That way you're getting the information up front. And when you walk out of that door, our goal is to make sure that you have that certificate stating that I am mortgage ready. And we also protect the consumer from unfair practices. So we want to make sure that you do not have any challenges with your mortgage, any challenges with any of the issues, and we work with the Fair Housing Committee as well. So thank you. I will now turn the slides over to Henry Stoudemire Jr., who will go through our next piece. We'll have Wanda talk through the services of housing counseling.
Great, thank you, Lydia. So the services that we offer are pre-purchase counseling, post-purchase counseling, rental assistance, financial literacy, predatory lending, credit and budget, mortgage delinquency, and pre-foreclosure. To obtain a home buyer certificate, you can do so in 3 easy steps. Attend a 2-hour orientation, either 4 to 6 hours of home buyers workshops, and 2 hours with your individual counselor. And with that, you will obtain your certificate. Back to you, Lydia.
Okay. So we have Jennifer Valentine, is she on the line to talk about why buy now? So why buy now? So why do you want to buy now? Is Jennifer there? Okay, the purpose of buying now, number one, the interest rates are very low, which means you can lower your mortgage payment, and you want a peace of mind. The good thing about home buying and why buy now is that there's equity buildup. So every time you make a mortgage payment, every time the market increases, you're building equity into your future. And the last thing is you want generational wealth. It's so important that we pass on something to our children and our children's children. And remember, credit is the key to home ownership. I will now turn it over to Andrea Wilson.
Okay, so we are giving away a free credit report to the first 50 people that complete an intake packet. The link below that you're seeing on this slide is just the contact form so we can get in contact with you. We need you to complete this form, and then from there, one of the NID offices that are on this call, we will reach out to you and provide you with the intake packet. That intake packet is needed to be completed, as well as a copy of your driver's license. So you can follow the link at the bit.ly/nidhousing.com, or you can copy and paste it. We're placing that link for you in the chat below. We are here and available to you to answer any questions and to help you take advantage of the resources that are right here in your community. So you can begin today by completing the first step of completing an intake application, and you can start building wealth for you and your family.
Well, from all the offices from NID Housing Counseling Agency, we all want to thank you all for so much for being on this webinar today. And we want to say, get your free credit report, get your housing counseling in, and purchase a home today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ladies, for giving us all of that wonderful information about housing counseling. So as you all have heard, here at the Cleveland Realtist Association, we are very multifaceted. We will advocate for you. We will have qualified realtors help you through the home buying process. We will have these wonderful ladies at NID help you if you need credit assistance or if you just want to see where you are. So as I mentioned earlier, our whole goal is to not only advocate and ensure democracy in housing, but also to ensure that during the process, you have someone to walk with you through the process. Sometimes it can be so overwhelming, but the Cleveland Realtist Association, NID, we are here to help you through that process. So we look forward to working with you, and we wish you all the best of luck in this journey towards home ownership. And remember, we're going to have 2 million new Black homeowners across the nation in the next 5 years, and Cleveland is going to be a part of this great movement. Best of luck with you, everything that you're doing.
Bye.
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 Across the nation in the next 5 years, and Cleveland is going to be a part of this great movement. Best of luck with you, everything that you're doing.
Bye.
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 Thank you guys so much again to CRA, NID. Hey, Bijou.
Hey, girl. Hey.
All right, so we have another giveaway. Hold on, let me cut this off. I was viewing it on Facebook Live too. So we have another giveaway. We have our washer and dryer set, and we also have our sectional. So as we wait for those winners to come in, just want to give a big thank you to all of our sessions, all of our vendors, everybody who participated today in our virtual empowerment event. So that's Third Federal, the Ohio Housing Finance Agency, and then the Cleveland Realtist Association, along with NID. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and I'm going to shout out our vendors as well, the Fair Housing Center for Rights and Research, ESOP, ESOP, Financial Wellness and Housing Stability, and the Equity Movement Enterprises Incorporated, and Women Inflection Point. Shout out to you guys as well.
All right, and it looks like we have a winner for both. So I'm going to shout out our washer and dryer winner. And that is Deshaun Palmer. Congratulations.
Shout out to you, Deshaun Palmer. And our winner for our sectional. All right. Hold on. Let me make sure I say your name right, sis. Latresa, I hope I said it right. Latresa Owens, you are the winner of a sectional for your home. Hopefully your new home that you're going to buy after all this good info.
Perfect. And to the winners, please make sure you guys stay tuned because Cleveland Realtist Association will be reaching out to you guys for your prizes. So stay tuned for that. And what we're going to do right now is Q&A. Hey, Monique. Hey, Lydia. Welcome back, ladies.
Hello.
All right. So we'll start with one of our first questions that we have from Facebook. Do you need a pre-approval letter before getting a realtor?
Before getting a realtist. So I'll let Lydia jump in as well. We probably should have brought Doxy back in as well. But it's always a good idea if you have that letter, because what that does is it tells potential sellers that you're a serious buyer, that you're not just, wasting their time and window shopping, but you already have your financing in place. So it is always a good idea to have your pre-qualification and pre-approval so that they know you're a serious buyer and you're on a mission here. Right, Lydia?
Absolutely. And you just want to make sure that when you're getting the pre-approval, we consider not the pre-approval is as good as go, but it's a stepping stone to getting to the next step. But prior to the pre-approval, you just want to make sure that you have that education so you really understand the entire process.
All right. We've got another question from Nicole on Facebook. She would like to know, is there a first-time home buying program for married couples?
Absolutely. That's our favorite. So with our NID agency, if you look under the NIDhousing.com, that's our national website, you can then click on any of the offices that are in the area that's closest to you. And then at that point, you will be able to see all of the home buying courses that are available. And remember, our courses are free of charge. You do the 2-hour orientation, the 4 to 6 hour class. We walk you through a 101. And yes, married couples, single, we encourage you, attend them. They're free of charge.
Perfect. And just seeing if we have any more questions coming in. Can you ladies just give your website one more time, just in case if they're not able to pose those questions here, they can make sure they reach out to you guys elsewhere.
Sure. So for the Cleveland Realtist Association, we are at www.clevelandrealtist.org. And you can always send us an email at info@clevelandrealtist.org.
For our NID agency, it's www.nidhousing.com. Look for the location that's near you.
Perfect. And we actually do have one more question from Charles, who would like to know, can you run through the qualifications of the first-time buyer program?
So for our first-time buyers program, we start with the orientation. Once you connect with a housing counselor, we send you an intake application to complete. And it tells information about you. We want to know a little bit about your situation, where you're at. Once we do that, we're going to bring you into an orientation. The orientation is geared to educate you on credit, on budget, on rental counseling. Then we do the home buying class and then our 101. The 101s are in a private setting where we really go over all the particulars as how long is it going to take for you to buy a home? What are the steps? And we provide for you a written action plan as a checklist and a guideline so that you can become a homeowner.
Perfect. Thank you, Lydia. Clarence would like to know, once you signed a purchase agreement, can the seller back out because they received a better offer?
Well, I probably can answer that question. Having a background in real estate, if a person has signed, I know that's a doxy question as well, but when a person signed a purchase agreement and they said the seller backs out because they received a better offer, typically once a purchase agreement is signed, anything you sign that has that's contractual between a buyer and a seller, it's a legal binding agreement. So what you want to do is, if there's situations arise that are in conflict, make sure you and your Realtist member, your real estate agent, will go forward with more conversation. Do you need an attorney involved? We don't know. It depends on the details and the conversation and the language in that purchase agreement.
Right. And just remember that a purchase agreement is actually a legally binding contract. And there are provisions that will deal with when the buyer can walk away and when the seller can walk away. And when they walk away with, and it's not a justifiable reason, they have actually broken the arrangement. So you'll need to, every situation, of course, is different. And so if that happens, you definitely need to refer back to your contract and see if what they have done is justifiable under the terms and conditions of the contract.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you guys on Facebook and on our websites for your questions. We appreciate you guys tapping in. Thank you, ladies, for your knowledge and expertise. We appreciate y'all. And Bijou, I think we had a great first virtual empowerment event.
I agree. I think people got a lot of information. And once again, this will be on replay. So if you missed anything, you want to go back, refresh all the information that you got so that you can go ahead and apply for your new loan or get your new house, please do so. WZAKCleveland.com, of course, ZHipHopCleveland.com, and our Facebook page. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. I'm seeing our live comments. You guys are really involved. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with us. And is there anything
before y'all go, we do have one more question. Gotta look out for Ryan real quick. Ryan would like to know, when purchasing as a married couple, if one person has bought a home and the other hasn't, are you still considered first-time buyers?
Well, it depends. If the person who has bought a home in the past, how many years has it been? So it determines on the amount of years that person has bought a home. If it's within a 3 year going back, then you can be considered a first time buyer. But if it's within a year, or you're still currently in a contract or own a home, then no, that person cannot be considered a first time buyer. But again, when you're dealing with mortgages and you're dealing with title, there are some ways that married couples can still be on the title, but not the mortgage. But again, you want to talk to your real estate agent, and we'll go through all those processes on a private basis if you need to.
Right. And just remember, because we don't want anyone saying, well, Lydia said and Monique said, every program is different and they have different parameters. So
Yeah.
Again, you can come to NID, and Lydia and her team has given you some great information, but just keep in mind that there are various down payment assistance programs, not only locally, but on a state level and a nationwide level. And each one has definitions on how they define the parties. So just keep that in mind as you're going through the process.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you again so much, ladies. And thank you to everybody who viewed. As Bijou said, we have these up on our Facebook and website. So check it out, share with your loved ones and your friends, and let's buy some homes.
2 million.
Get that free credit report.
Okay.
Yes, get that credit report. You guys have a good and blessed weekend. Stay safe.
Everyone, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.